So, hello there and welcome to Ívar's Fly Workshop. Today we'll be tying a classic pattern which is called Hare's Ear or Hera in Icelandic. And this is one of my favorite nymph patterns since it's a really effective one and works well here in Iceland, both for the Arctic char, especially the Arctic char, and then again for the browntrout as well. And we are using an Ahrex FW560 number 12. That's a traditional nymph, the traditional nymph hook from Ahrex. And the thread I'm using for this one is an SSS Frödin camel colored thread. I like the Frödin threads as well, even though I use the UNI for most of the time, but it's nice to use, just like UTC and weavers and all of those threads there are. This will be like a classic hare's ear with a golden rib on it. So we start by attaching the gold wire or oval gold. It actually doesn't matter. Some people use flat tinsel, so it's more visible. I'm using an oval, using a wire for it. And instead of using a hair, like a hare's ear for the tail, I found it a lot easier to use just a pheasant tail feathers for the tail, and we'll be attaching them to the hook shank like so. And I'm using a hair dubbin, like a hair mask dubbin for the body of the fly. And now comes the fun part. That's to make the dubbing. I'm using just like the traditional way of dubbing. This is my hair mask. It's like all chopped. It's loose, and I'm using trying to pick the longest fibers to dub on the thread. And I will do a video on dubbing once I have time for that. And we twist it on the thread like so. Just place it one way. We don't take it with our finger back and forward, just one way. And we kind of feed the thread with the dubbin. And it's really handy to have a rotary vise when we when we place it on the body of the fly. And to get the shape of the body, so it's like a little narrower in the back and goes like a little thicker up front. We used like first like a quite thin dubbing on a thread, and then it's okay if it gets like a little thicker when we get closer to the area of the thorax of the nymph. And there you see there's like a little gap there left, and it's fine because it's okay to be in the position to have to add dub on the thread. It's worse if you put too much on it and you have to like reverse. That's worse. And when you place it on the thread, you can kind of move it, slide it on the thread, and we'll be just dubbing that on the place where the thorax is and will be on the fly. And as you see, I'm not cutting off the pheasant feathers. We use them when we place our thread there, not in the middle of the shank, just like a bit further than that. And then comes the golden oval tinsel or wire, just what you prefer. We grab the wire with our with our thread and tied it down securely with a couple of wraps. Then we snip off the end of the thread, and this is, like I said, this is the way I tie the fly. This is not necessarily the correct or incorrect way. This is just a way that works. It fishes a lot. Then I bend the fibers of the pheasant back like so and attach them down like we did. Then we dub on the thread, and then we dub the thorax, and you will see how we do it. Some people might think like, hey, no, this is not correct, but just watch and learn. Then we dub over the fibers. They're just there to build up the volume of the body. And just for this very front part of the fly, I'm gonna add a tiny little dubbing material on the thread, just to kind of finish off the thread, like so. And you must check all the ratio on the fly, so it's like you're not running out of space anywhere. That's practice that comes with the time of tying. Then you fold over the pheasant feathers, or the pheasant tail feathers, make them straight, and then we snip off the tag end. And you see, I leave like a millimeter or so, and we're going to leave it like that. It's not going to bother anybody, and it's just going to work as well as it would be. And then we do the whip finishing job with our brown camel brown thread. Snip off the end, and I'm gonna use Solaris Bone Cure for the knot, and I'm gonna place like a little bit of that fantastic material on the back of the fly, of the thorax. So we place it and give the wing, no, not the wing, but the knot, like a good wash of the resin, and then we'll take the UV torch and zap it with our light, with our torch, and then the fly is ready to take it out fishing. Except if you prefer, it depends. All depends on the anglers. I use actually not my toothbrush, but like an old toothbrush as a dubbing brush. It was exactly the same. I never had a fancy dubbing brush, even though I have fly tying materials for over $10,000. But like you see, it does the same. Gives it like a little buggy look on the fly. Gives it it has legs and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you can use any kind of brush for it. You can as well, like this, you can use a needle just to pick out fibers. It just all depends on how picky you are, and it doesn't matter. The fish is probably not gonna think about how and what tool you use to make the fly. So here it is, the Hare's Air Nymph, a fantastic pattern that works great. I just want to say thanks for watching, guys, and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video.